All right. Tell us who you are
Medea Benjamin with Code Pink.
and why are you here at J Street?
I find it interesting to see what the perspective of a lot of people who come to the conference are. I find it interesting to listen to a lot of speakers to see, especially now, where they put the Israel issue in the context of revolutions going on all over the Middle East. And I also think it's interesting to follow the evolution of J Street's position on certain issues, like around BDS. I think it's great that they're letting Jewish voices have be on a panel. Rabbi Lerner is now speaking, so I see some evolution from the last time.
Would you say that J Street is part of the peace camp, or is it just AIPAC light?
I think it's somewhere in between those two. It sort of swings both ways. I think it was great that J Street encouraged the administration not to veto the UN resolution condemning Israel on the settlements. And yet, on the other hand, I think their position on BDS is very bad. So I think it vacillates, but I think it's important to have different voices be heard. And I like to try to understand the fine line that J Street tries to walk.
If there was an issue where members of J Street who are a little bit more dovish than the public positions, what issue would you suggest they focus on to move J Street, more in the direction you support?
Well, I think it's important to push J Street on the issue of boycott, divestment, and sanctions, since that is one of the most important tools that we have to put pressure on the Israeli government. I think it's important to push the issues of talking to Hamas. I think it's interesting in this changing world that we shouldn't let J Street fall into the AIPAC trap of demonizing the institutions in the Arab world that have been able to survive under these terrible dictatorships like the Muslim Brotherhood. They have the right to participate in elections in Egypt. Hamas has the right to participate in elections, and whether or not we agree with them is not the issue. It's that they are part of the reality on the ground, and they need to be taken into account, and they need to be included in any kind of dialogue that might really lead to peace.
You and I probably agree that pro-peace advocates are often demonized as being anti-Semites when that's totally not true. My question is, are there any times when the folks worried about delegitimization of Israel are actually correct and we should listen to them even if they're mostly wrong?
I think there are certainly people that are anti-Semites that congregate around our movements. I know when I go to the Arab world, I was just in Egypt, and you see a lot of demonization of not a lot. I would say there is some demonization of Jews in general.
Right.
I try to counter those that by the work that I do. But I certainly agree that the positions of the Israeli government would encourage anti-Semitism, and that if we want to discourage anti-Semitism, we need to do what we're doing, which is push for policies that respect the rights of Palestinians.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.